It's about that time of day again, guys. 1:30 Eastern Time, time for our lunchtime recap and our trade of the day. Joseph James here, School of Trade, Sideways Markets. Every morning we open up our live trade room filled with members from around the world, different countries, different languages, lots of experience, no experience, guys. Our trade room, our community of traders, our educational programs are intended to be used for people who are brand new to trading, all the way up to people who are managing hundreds of millions of dollars with us every day with our managed accounts and hedge fund opportunities. So a fantastic opportunity for anybody out there who wants to make money in the markets, whether you're brand new to this stuff or whether you've been doing this for a while and you're just looking for another edge or you're looking for a community of traders to work with. You know, we're going to be in Vegas in a few weeks. We'll be at the Traders Summit on Memorial Day weekend. Don't forget to come out and see us in Vegas. You can meet all kinds of other traders, right? This community of traders. We all like working together, and the wisdom of crowds. The more people we put together in our trade room, the more successful we become. So, you know about our membership. We won't talk too much about that. You're here to learn more about the trades we took today. Now, what I want to remind you is that all three of our membership levels, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and the free trial members, even you trial folks out there, you guys get the daily price levels as well. So beginners, you guys got them. Intermediates and advanced, you guys all have the daily price levels. So let's go inside your course materials real quickly here, and I'm going to search. Now, there's a lesson in the advanced course for it, but let's just search for daily price levels, and you're going to see right here, there are the price levels for today. These daily price levels they should be called the golden levels because they're exactly how we trade every day alongside our members in the trade room. So you might be asking yourself right now, so Joe, I can get the same levels as the advanced members, but I can get it as a beginner? Absolutely. The beginner members get the levels and the trading education. The intermediate members get the levels, the fundamental education, and the trading plan and all this, right? And the automated systems. Then you got the advanced members. The advanced members, they get the beginner, intermediate, so they get the levels, the trading plan, all the software, the live trade room, the ongoing support, yada, 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 right? Plenty of information, guys, in the on the website, schooloftrade.com. Go check it out. Where am I going with this? Well, everybody knew about the daily price levels. So the daily price levels, those were posted last night. Everybody comes in this morning, and the first thing we did today was we jumped over now to those price levels. We went into our course materials, we opened them up, and here's what we saw. Here was a really big clue that we got today off a 60-minute chart. Now, I'm going to teach you exactly what you got to do with these things, guys. Very, very simple. This is a sell zone and a buy zone. Okay, now, how do we use these? Really easy. Okay, as I always say, this is not rocket science. It's day trading. This is not difficult. My job as your mentor is to keep it simple. That way we can all make money together easily. Okay, how do we use a sell zone? Do we place a sell stop or a sell limit just hanging out there? No. We can't place a sell limit order there because we might get run over by the price. So what I have to do here is, let me zoom in a little bit closer, is I'm going to find a sell zone. And then once we leave that sell zone, that's when I know there was too much supply in the market and price will move down into the buy zone. Okay, so once again here, test my sell zone, we reverse, then I know there was too much supply. That's when I'm going to use my entry trigger indicators to get me into the trades on the entry time frames, and I'll take my profit off inside the buy zone. Okay, really simple. What about the opposite side? How about a buy zone? When we go into a buy zone, I'm going to bounce off the buy zone lows. Again, I'm not going to just jump in front of this and put a buy order there because for all intents and purposes, I'm not that good, right? These things sometimes get broken. It's going to happen all the time. And that just tells us that there's not enough demand. Okay, supply would be the resistance. Demand will be the support. Alrighty, so when it comes to a buy zone, we test a buy zone. Again, I'm not trying to predict. Wise traders don't predict, they react. Much more difficult to predict this reversal Much easier to wait for the reversal to begin. That tells us there's too much demand, right? There's too many people buying crude contracts here right now. And now my job now is to trade long with that new trend. And you guessed it, I take my profit off in the sell zone. So these buy and sell zones, like I said earlier, really could be called gold, right? Gold levels or golden levels because they really are valuable. We use the same levels that the beginners and the trial members get every day in our live trade room, and we'll even teach you how to find these things. Very, very easy. So what did we see here now? Now that you know this chart was posted last night for everybody to see, now how do we use it? Well, what did we see happen? We see that price went up, tested the sell zone, and now what is it doing? It's moving lower. Wait. Didn't you just say this? Absolutely. How do we trade a sell zone? We wait for a test of a sell zone. Then once we see it leave that sell zone, we know that's proof. This is not a guess. That is proof. There was too much supply for, in this case, crude oil futures contracts. So we know supply and demand is all that matters, and so we test supply. Clearly, there's plenty of supply, so price starts to move lower. That was our biggest clue this morning. So right off the bat this morning, we're yelling short, short, short. We're looking for selling opportunities now in our live trade room. Now, fast forward here now. Here's one of my favorite time frames on one of my favorite markets using one of my favorite price patterns. Now, if you want to see the trades that I took today, if you want to see all the exact trades today, you got to be a member. So either register for the trial, the beginner, just sign up for one of the memberships and you can see all the trades we took today. Now, when it comes to this pattern, again, one of my favorite patterns, this is called the symmetry pattern. Now, if you got good eyes, you can probably already see the symmetry. Do you see it? Guys, you'd be amazed how often these markets move in symmetrical sequences, both time and price. That means the amount of time it took and the amount of range that it moved. They're usually very, very similar. Okay, so you can easily see the symmetry there now. That's pretty simple, right? We call this the ABCD or the symmetry setup. Don't forget, guys, when you register as a member, I'm going to teach you 10 different setups. In fact, we're always adding to these setups. So as a member, you're going to be receiving professional training on 10 different setups. Imagine how much profit you'll make when you've got 10 guns to choose from in the holster. You're never going to miss a trade opportunity again. Okay, so this is one of my favorite setups, the symmetry setup. Symmetry meaning symmetry in price. Okay, one of my favorite markets, we're trading crude oil. I love crude oil because of two things. One, it's a great mixture of liquidity and volatility. Anybody ever traded the S&P? We all know what the S&P feels like. The S&P is a sluggish, highly liquid, range-bound market. Compare the S&P to crude oil, and wow, crude oil looks like an 8-year-old that just drank a six-pack of Coca-Cola and is running around the house on a sugar binge, right? Whereas the S&P looks like that 8-year-old took a sedative and has fallen asleep. Two very different personalities. Now, you may love the S&P. I personally love the action on crude. I've been trading crude for a decade now. I was one of the original educators online trading crude many, many years ago when everyone called me crazy for not trading the S&P. I consider myself to be an expert on crude oil price action, market personality, and as you can see, on trading it as well. I teach and I trade at the same time every day in our live trade room. So while you're trading alongside of me, shadow trading every step of the way, I'm going to be giving you little tidbits of knowledge so you can learn more about this every day. See, everybody needs to learn somewhere. So you're going to need to have the ability to shadow trade and mimic, right, my trades. I get that. That's exactly what I intend to do, is give you the chance to get in right along with me using our easy-to-use entry trigger indicator. But at the same time, you also want to be able to use my experience. I've been doing this over 10 years now, guys. I'm going to be able to give you more experience in a week than you're going to get for 3 or 4 years on your own. If you don't believe me, come out and join me. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm looking forward to sharing all this knowledge with you guys Again, one of my favorite markets is crude oil futures. And then, as you can see, this is kind of a different looking chart. This is a Renko chart. Now, you guys are probably familiar with these Renko charts, but Renko charts are they're actually pretty old school. They actually date all the way back to 16th century Osaka, Japan. They're one of the oldest forms of candlesticks. They've been made popular over the past 10 years, though, as technology has allowed more people to have different types of charts. This Renko chart system really works well with our entry trigger indicator. Here's an example of the entry trigger indicator. You can see it in the upper left-hand corner here. You'll notice these little arrows, right? These arrows that are firing off. All of these little arrows, these are your entry signals. And these entry signals are going to make sure that you're selling and selling with retracements at the right times. They're going to make sure that you know exactly when to get in, and they're going to make sure that you know that when you're shadow trading me, think how easy it will be for you to shadow trade a professional when you hear me say I'm short, but on top of that, you're seeing the trade show up right on your chart as well. That's how you learn, guys. You learn by me giving you a plan. I'm going to train you on that plan, and then every day, Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to get together and we're going to follow that plan together. This morning, we had a plan. What was the plan? Get short. We were looking to get short on crude. Now that we knew the plan, we opened up the trade room at 8 o'clock in the morning, and look what happened. Price was doing what? Price was rising. So we had price rising here at 8 a.m. Eastern time. We already made a huge move lower. Price starts to rise at 8 a.m. Eastern time. We're looking for selling opportunities. So immediately we jump into our Fibonacci retracement tool, one of my favorite little gizmos for professional trading. This Fibonacci tool has a bunch of proprietary settings on it. I'll show you how to set it up. I'll give you the template for all the Fibonacci stuff. Guys, it's so easy. The kids have it easy these days. We got all the templates done for you, all the indicators done for you, the trading plans here for you. All you have to do is show up, and when you hear me say short, you see the entry signal on your chart, you follow right along with me, and you're going to learn more every day. But I'm going to get you making money right away because you'll be able to shadow trade me. So here we are now. We're rising higher. I use my Fibonacci calculation to anticipate where the line in the sand will be between the buyers in charge and the sellers in charge. We call this the trigger zone. And the trigger zone, again, is a simple Fibonacci, simple fibs, but this is one of the most important things in our trading methodology. See, as we're going higher here, guys, many of you might have thought that we had fully reversed, right? Are the buyers in charge now? No. Right now, this is simply a retracement. This is just a little bounce in the big scheme of things, right? In the big move lower. So a lot of the rookies here may have thought, oh, the buyers are back in charge now. No, actually, in my humble opinion, the buyers don't regain control until they break and hold. That's the key. Hold above that, right, trigger zone. Okay, that's when now I'm looking to buy here, and we would take it back up to overnight highs. So we were ready for that today, but again, our plan was to look for a short. So sure enough, by 9:30 now, we've tested our trigger zone. Trigger zone is the Fibonacci-based line in the sand between this being just a retracement, just a little bounce, or becoming a full-blown price reversal. So of course, here at 9:30, what do we see? We test the trigger zone, and then we start to move lower. When we start to move lower, we ran right into, and this is when you heard me in the trade room say, oh man, we got 10:30 on a Wednesday. Like clockwork, we've got inventory news. Now, this didn't catch us off guard, obviously. We knew about this well ahead of time. We always prepare each morning with a detailed morning prep. That morning prep starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we go over a handy little alarm clock tool that we found online that allows me to set the alarms for the day. So this did not catch us off guard. And when it comes to news, I don't care what the news is telling me, guys. Don't make the same mistake that I did. When I was a brand new trader, I assumed I've got to know everything. I have to know why things are moving, when things are moving. I have to know every little nitty-gritty niche about the news. That way I can make money, right? Wrong. I'll tell you one thing, guys. The biggest mistake that I ever made was putting all kinds of value in the news. I don't care what the news is saying. All I care is when the news is being released. Why? Why don't I care about the news? Because it's noise. By the time that I go to the website, I don't care whether I have a live feed from Trade the News or whether I have a CNBC.com webpage up. I don't care what I'm using for news, guys. By the time you hear it, it's old. So by the time I listen to the news on the radio or by the time I see the news on Bloomberg, by the time I think about it, guys, I can just use the price action. The price action tells me exactly what the news is all about. And don't get me wrong, guys, I'm guilty as charged too. I made this same mistake for a decade. It wasn't until recently that I looked back at my career and I said, wait a second, why am I putting so much emphasis on the news? Why am I taking 10 minutes to read through the news report, try to scan the news wires and see what it's all trying to say? By the time I try to figure out what it's saying, I could have just read the time and sales window. I could have just looked at the charts. Is there any doubt in our mind what that news at 10:30 was trying to tell us today? No. What do you think? Can you guess? Yeah, I can guess. I don't need to be an MIT grad, right? I don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. This news was bearish. So why even worry about what the actual report was? Yeah, I know. I can impress my friends at happy hour. I can win at Trivial Pursuit if I know all these little details, but it's sure as heck not going to make me more money. That's for sure. So nowadays what I do is I know when the news is. I don't really care what the news is. I want to know when it is so I can avoid trading into it. And then I want to know when the news is released so I can look for the reaction to it. So simple, right? So simple. It makes sense. But again, as human beings, we're programmed to want to know everything. A little bit counterintuitive. That's a lot of things like that in day trading that don't really add up for most people, but for a day trader, it makes sense. So here we are now. We're gonna run right into that news at 10:30. And as you can see here, we quickly found out by lower lows. Remember, we wanted to get short all morning. And now look what happens. The same Fibonacci calculation that I used to know when the price was moving lower, right? The line in the sand. That same Fibonacci calculation. Look what happens now. Now I want to introduce to you one of the most powerful tools, and that is our entry trigger indicator. Now, I am not going to say that indicators are the path of profit because you got to know how and when to use it. No, I am not going to take every single signal that I see. Not going to happen. Okay, that's the easiest way to make you broke and your broker rich. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a specific set of rules. And those specific set of rules go something like this. Rule number 1, trade in the long-term trend direction. What was that again? It was bearish. Rule number 2, if I'm trying to go short, I need a new lower low. Trying to go long, I need a new higher high. Again, we come out of the 10:30 news. What do you see here, folks? New lower low. So I've got my new lower low. Step number 2, looking good. Step number 3, now that I know the market is poised for a move, now it's time for me to engage my Fibonacci tool. The Renko charts make it very easy for that. And you can see here, there's a test of my trigger zone, followed by, there's your signal. And as I said earlier, in our live trade room, the entire time, what you're going to hear me saying is, we're looking for shorts. All I need now is an entry signal to fire off when we test that trigger zone. Members, that's all you heard me talking about today, right? Wait for that entry short inside the trigger zone. So now we get the first entry short. Where are we going from here? What was it again? Trade with the long-term trend. That's rule 1. I'm looking for a short. I want to see a new lower low. That's rule 2. New lower low. Bingo. Rule number 3, take out that Fibonacci tool and let's make sure we qualify the right signal. One more test of your trigger zone and there you go. 2 different entries, 2 different opportunities. If you missed the first one, grab the second one. No big deal at all. Easy, easy, easy stuff. Going with the long-term trend. We were ready for this right away this morning. As you can see here again, we couldn't quite get into it until after that 10:30 news came out. And sure enough, here's that symmetry support down here. And can anybody guess where we took our final profit target? You got it. Right at those lows. Right at those lows. Right? The ABCD, the symmetry target works out just as planned. Yeah, we couldn't get into the trade as early as we wanted to. We had to wait till we got below that 10:30 a.m. news. But as you can see, though, guys, just a great example today of one of my favorite trade setups on one of my favorite markets on one of my favorite chart time frames. We call this the symmetry setup. We opened up the room today at 8 o'clock in the morning. We knew we were trying to get short this morning. We did, and you can see here, what a great example. Guys, I'm excited to teach you this all as a member. I'll provide the trading plan. I'll provide all the gizmos and gadgets, all the software, all the data. All you need to do is bring a good attitude, a hardworking attitude. Come in and join me every day in the live trade room. Now, before I let you go, don't forget, we're going to be throwing a big party in Vegas Memorial Day weekend, and you're invited, guys. I want to invite you to join me in Las Vegas, Nevada. We have only 11 spots left right now, I was told today. Only 11 out of 20 spots left here right now. Don't miss this chance here, guys. I'm going to train you on all this in real time. Okay, you'll be able to sit right next to me on a new computer, trade right along with me. We got great prizes there. It's going to be a great event. This is going to be Thursday and Friday of Memorial Day weekend, May 23rd and 24th. It's a 2-day trading event. Thursday and Friday, we get a great conference room in Las Vegas. We got wired internet. It's an exciting time. 1 ticket gets 2 seats. And don't forget, if you're a member with me right now, you get a 50% discount. Advanced members get 50% discount. Beginner members, you guys get 30% discounts. Don't forget, come join me in Vegas. I'm going to put that link here right below the video today. That way you can come out and join me. If you haven't signed up for the trial yet, sign up for the free trial. The free trial comes with 1 free live trading session with me. Every day, Monday through Thursday, we do a live trading session with the folks on the trial. Our beginner, intermediate, and advanced members all have very, very big perks, different resources that are offered for each one. So get to know our different course materials. And again, come in and join me in the live trade room tomorrow as an advanced member. I'll tell you right now, it's one of the best places online you can learn and earn. I've been doing this over 12 years now. I'm one of the originals online, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow with our next trade of the day. Have a wonderful afternoon. If you made all kinds of money today, keep it close to the vest because you got Beige Book coming out later on at about 2 o'clock Eastern time. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.